great ideas are brought to life by great thinkers. One such thinker, Jovan Pulitzer, has contributed over 500 patents to our technological world. The United States Patent Office shows that as many as 40 new inventions have stemmed from each of his pioneering patents. Today, built upon his incredible success, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer innovates in the areas of virtual and augmented reality, data analytics and global data platforms, nanoanalytics, healthcare systems, mobile streaming communications, as well as monetization technologies. Some of his groundbreaking innovations are right in front of you every single day. A barcode has long been just a bunch of lines on the bottom of a box of cereal. But today, every product, article of commerce, and even people have a unique identifiable code. Everything in the world has become interconnected, and like magic, we can use our device's camera to read barcodes and unique QR codes. A now ubiquitous technology that Jovan ideated and patented. For a long time, software was purchased on floppy disks and CDs, and it was a hassle when there was an update to install. Today's devices know when there is an update available, and then automatically take care of that behind the scenes for us. Another one of Jovan's patents that we take for granted every day. Several years ago, viewing the same website from a computer to a laptop to a mobile device always seemed to make it look wonky and broken. Thanks to one of Jovan's patented ideas, websites fit perfectly into the screen you're looking at. That's what we call responsive design. We all remember when taking a toll road meant digging around your car for loose change to pay the attendant. What a traffic jam. These days, manned toll booths are a rarity. A tag in our vehicles linked to our credit card automates the payment process. Our inventor Jovan Pulitzer innovated the device that lives in your car and the system to capture and process that message.
Hey guys, welcome to the program. Will you do me a finger, please? If you're feeling generous, give me 2 fingers. 3 fingers, like, share, forward, whatever the case may be. Lift your finger and hit that button and share this program. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, etc. Today, we're going to have a very interesting conversation. I think it's also going to be very enlightening. I'm going to get a little bit geeky. I am, in a good way. I'm going to teach you something in depth that you might not have known about. I'm going to tie it back to, you didn't even know you brought this science to bear by you fighting for the full forensic audit in Arizona. And I'm going to tie it into some things that are very obvious going on in the, should we say, podcaster news world, BS world. I think you're really going to like it. Today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Goldco. I showed you just the other day, Mexico, just south of our border, is now, the way they're changing over is you cannot go through a toll booth and you cannot buy fuel pumps anyway, unless you pay by digital. They're forcing it. This is the force that's coming. I've been telling you this for years. Don't act shocked. I gave everybody a super long head start. I told you to think about this. This is one of the reasons I am telling you, you need to find out all you can about gold and silver, why it should be something in your life. I'm not saying go change your retirement savings over to I'm not saying that. I'm saying a little bit. You need to know it. And at least request a free gold and silver kit today from my fine partners at Goldco, because now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver. You need to find out what's going on. Also, I want to remind you, talking about gold, I shared with you a program about how you can go out and get gold bearing, silver bearing, mineral gemstone bearing land for $30 an acre. That's your gold. You find it, you pick it up. It's very valid, always been around. The government doesn't want you to know about it. You've got an email. You should have got a second email. There's about 12 questions you have to answer so we know exactly what would be relevant to you. Make sure you got that back. We haven't started sending the second round. For the people that sent back the 12 questions, the second round will be coming soon so we can get on this process. We had to know where you started, but don't forget to do that. And as always, my base channel for this, because at different times they boot us from, Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be. You can watch us on many channels. Always make sure you understand that my base channel is Rumble. Rumble.com/Jovan, Hutton, Pulitzer. Okay. With that said, we are literally, I'm going to show you the fingerprint of God. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. My faith is unshakable. I see many things that point to it every day. I think you're going to like this one, but I'm going to connect it all together to all the bull hockey ho-ho crap we've been going through. Like somebody sent me something yesterday. One of the people that came into this movement, save the elections, I infiltrated an Antifa call, bragged about meeting with Vince Pompeo and his security officials, January 6th, I was in DC or whatever with another fellow. And now it's interesting. We're watching something online where a lot of these people that were there at January 6th that never got in trouble, which is really weird. There were hundreds of people there that got arrested. Magically, one group of them that was there, I'm talking in the middle of it, didn't get arrested. Do you know what one of their put it in chat. Do you know what two of their common denominators are? Two of their common denominators. What are two of their common denominators that these people, which are now in election integrity, by the way, were there at January 6th in the middle of it, telling people to go, as I'm telling you way back when, don't set foot there. That's over 5 years ago. I warned you. But they never got arrested. What are two common denominators that these people have? Number one, part of Mike Lindell's team. Number two, the very people that supposedly helped Tina Peters. And we know where she is. Well, now a story is coming out that on January 5th, the FBI showed up at my house and they were asking me, hey, I saw a bumper sticker on your car. What does that mean? And what's going to happen on January 6th? Can you believe that? These guys can't keep their story straight. Think about this. People that said they were there, people that bragged about being in the middle of it, people that were, in fact, there, there's photo and video evidence there, never got harassed, never got arrested. People around them got arrested. Now saying, well, I was at home on January 5th and the FBI showed up at my house, and they showed up at my house because they saw a bumper sticker on my car and wanted to know what was going to happen January 6th. Now, isn't that a weird story? Because that would mean if the FBI showed up, they were like Psychic Friends Network. I'm at your house because of a bumper sticker, and what's going to happen tomorrow in DC, even though I'm supposedly here in Colorado? Isn't that kind of weird? All these stories are getting jumbled and kerfuckled. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I guess when you tell so many bullshit lies and pop yourself up or place yourself in other people's stories, right? You kind of forget what you said. I don't know what's going on, but something is funky going on, and it's including a lot of people, including Alex Jones. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to look at the fingerprint of God. This is awesome. Wait till you see this as we unwrap this entire story. You're going to love it. You got just about 2 minutes to share this. Let's get started.
Rennie Good was a gifted soul, a writer and a poet and a mother. Wow, she tried to hit an agent with her car. Oh no, pop motherfucker, now she's gone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Being a fucking liberal is a mental disease. Blue hair and fuckables with the septum ring. You are not a hero, you're a fucking disease. You fuck around and find out it's what it is. Yeah.
not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence.
Warning. The following program has been rated Dilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you? Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians, the elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused, emotional socialist snowflake crowd? Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, guys, I'm going to take you through a little bit of history and politics and culture and race and some amazing scientific breakthrough that just happened. We're going to look at the fingerprint of God. It's what science just revealed. It's what science just revealed. Now, I know some of you right now are suffering with the loss of your parents. And you're thinking, you know, my mom took the shot and clot shot and all this other stuff. You know, we have a hard time making sense of this world we live in many ways. The other day, doing a broadcast, found out one of my neighbors died. His wife found him in bed, was just talking to him the day before. It can happen. Now, my personal thought on the death part of it is everything gets revealed to us. That's what I believe. When we evidently walked through and joined that light, I think every question we ever had, right, gets answered to us. You know, so I kind of vision you're there and God says, there was no freaking Antifa call infiltrated. And you kind of learn all the truth of all the bullshit that's been around you. And you kind of see what's there and it's all about. I think this, right? I think this because I see God everywhere and the fingerprint of God everywhere. And I'm going to show you that. But first, we're going to talk about what's going out on our physical plane. Remember, we live in Satan's realm. That's it. Earth. That's what this is. Nastiness, Satan's realm, mankind, the whole bit. And in the mankind part of our world, it can be disgusting. I'll give you an example. And I talked about Alex Jones, but on Alex Jones, he recently had Robert Barnes. You see that guy on the right of your screen? Alex Barnes has been on, you know, I forget the other, Viva, whatever, Fry program. And Robert Barnes often talks about the audit and stuff. He's an attorney. One of these people that said the full forensic audit was bullshit. Doesn't matter how many times I call him out on it, how many times you should take a look at it, totally ignores it. So I learned years ago that I believe this fellow, Robert Barnes, which has a lot of people that watch, has been compromised by the system. Now, just recently, he was on with Alex Jones. And he has also hopped onto this bitching bandwagon, not a bandwagon that's bitching, but the bitching bandwagon. And I see every bit of this as psychological warfare, but let me show you this.
Compared to existential threat. How do we 25th Amendment is asked?
The problem is to get the 25th Amendment, it's harder than impeachment. You have to get 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate.
So what do we do?
Tackle Trump and pretend, let him pretend he's president and publicly report that he's going through a health issue and Vance take over. It literally needs to be something like that. It's that bad.
I've known you a long time. You've never called for an internal coup before.
Ever. But that's how dangerous this is. That's how risky it is for the whole world.
Yeah, if I was the Democrats, I'd stop.
Alex Jones is saying he's known him for a long time. Again, it's just my own opinion. Chunky Blinders there is, for me, on the wrong side. He's been on the wrong side for a long time.
Compared to existential threat. How do we 25th Amendment is asked?
The problem is to get the 25th Amendment, it's harder than impeachment. You have to get 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate.
So what do we do?
Tackle Trump and pretend, let him pretend he's president and publicly report that he's going through a health issue and Vance take over. It literally needs to be something like that. It's that bad.
I've known you a long time. You've never called for an internal coup before.
Ever. But that's how dangerous this is. That's how risky it is for the whole world.
Yeah, if I was the Democrats, I'd stop poking Trump and messing with him. That only makes it worse. Like, you guys need to watch out. This isn't a guy acting like he's crazy. This is real.
Well, what's there going to be to take over in 2026 or 2028 if this hits the fan? If we get it, he's threatening an extinction level event for the people of Iran tomorrow. Does nobody think there'll be any blowback from that? If he follows through on that, the whole world is screwed.
You were saying during the break, there's other ways to do this. People need to not just tell him the truth, like Susie Walsh said. It's time to just not. Say what you just said.
Yeah, well, legally and constitutionally, the vice president is an independent elected official. The same as legally and constitutionally, the only oath any member of the military takes, any member of the State Department takes, any member of the intelligence community.
And so Robert Barnes, who called out the audit long time ago, I pushed back on it, won't discuss it, won't debate it. I've even had people at Local or Rumble, because they're tied to the same platforms too, intercede on our behalf saying, you really need to meet with Jovan and go through it, right? No answer. And so I took a long time ago, this is, part of what I call controlled opposition, and it is, right? And so now Alex Jones is in it, and get rid of President Trump, and a lot of fear mongering and whatever. But that's not the only stuff going on. You're asking questions about, all of you are probably questioning, what the hell is going on? It's like Tucker Carlson. Here's a recent interview. Pay attention.
I would actually argue, and this is a bold statement, the Democratic Republic is the greatest government experiment in the history of humanity. I would say
I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
You've enjoyed it. Yeah. So we enjoy it. I love America. You love America.
I do.
Capitalism should not be anywhere near Christianity.
You think?
Pay attention to the connection that's about to be weaved here.
I would actually argue, and this is a bold statement, the Democratic Republic is the greatest government experiment in the history of humanity. I would say
I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
You've enjoyed it. Yeah. So we enjoy it. I love America. You love America.
I do.
Capitalism should not be anywhere near Christianity.
You think?
Christianity is more, and I don't like the word socialist with the weight it carries, but Christianity is socialism at its core.
Non-authoritarian.
It's the marker to build social capital. You look at that early Church of Acts, and it transformed Rome. within a couple hundred years, the greatest superpower of its time, to where Constantine was like, I'm a Christian hanging out with these dudes. They had no money. They had no buildings, but somehow the love of their neighbor transformed the greatest superpower of its time. That's dangerous.
You understand what this play is. Well, if you're a Christian, you'll embrace it because that's what Christianity is. Get ready. A lot more is coming. But if you're Christian, you'll embrace it. I just want you to be aware of this psyop that's coming, because that's what it is. Capitalism, I mean, come on. Capitalism shouldn't be anywhere near Christianity. Christianity is socialism at its core. I'm just telling you, it's coming. I've been telling you this for a long time, folks. This is why I do the books I do. You better get your crap in order. Just make sure it's got my name on the book so you're getting the authentic deal and not knockoff BS. You're going to have to learn a lot of things. You're going to have to relearn a lot of things you forgot. But that's not all. That's not all. Tucker's doubling down. Wait, sextup, infinity ding 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 down.
Seed doesn't produce the tree until it dies. And so the death of the unipolar moment and of the institutions within the evangelical movement, American.
The death of within the evangelical movement is a good thing. By the way, let's just do a dictionary check. The evangelical movement is the trans-denominational, you just look like a Catholic, but you're really a Muslim. No, meaning a cross. The trans-denominational Protestant movement emphasizing a personal born-again conversion experience, the supreme authority of the Bible, the centrality of Jesus's crucifixion for salvation, and active sharing of faith. It is characterized by theological conservatism and a focus on evangelism and social activism. Now, with that, so you understand what he's talking about.
Seed doesn't produce the tree until it dies. And so the death of the unipolar moment and of the institutions within the evangelical movement, American Protestant Christianity, are going away, but they will be replaced by something better and purer, more true to itself, constructive, unifying, healing, institutions that build and don't just destroy. That's going to happen. And God willing, we will live to see it. So rejoice in that, as sad as this is.
I never knew Tucker to be a theologian. Personally, I always admired Tucker. He's one of the best debaters and fat guys out there. But he has gone nuts, and I no longer care for his work. And I don't have any respect for him anymore. I just don't see it. I don't understand, putting on like Nick Fuentes and I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. But basically saying Christianity at its core, I know they used a little keyword of evangelical, and some people will take, oh, I'm not a Bible thumper. That's it. It's the divide. It's another hyphen. So this is another hyphen that's coming. It's just like the thing of people saying, well, they're a Christian Zionist. If you're a Christian, you got to understand by default, because of your faith based on the Bible and its connection to Jews and Israel, you're a Zionist. There ain't no new thing. You are. That's just what it is. So instead of diving into all of this mashugana that's happening everywhere, I want to introduce you to the fingerprint of God. Right? I do. I want to introduce you to the fingerprint of God, and I want to introduce you to some science. Now you're going to learn in short order. You're going to go, wow, I know how this works, right? I know how this works. Okay. Etc. So at its smallest level, down into our DNA, you can actually crystallize a single cell. Eukaryotic cell is what it's called. A eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell is basically a single cell by which the DNA is contained. And then they can use really cool technology to, and I'll go into it in a minute. You don't have to understand. I'm going to show you this, to take a look at cell science. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. So where science is, through the concept of 3D modeling, artificial intelligence, meaning understanding it, not regurgitating what it thinks, machine learning and computer vision. It can actually now enhance and look deeper than we've ever been able to see before into our DNA, our single atoms, etc. Now, you might recognize the term computer vision combined with machine learning combined with artificial intelligence, because that's what we did. And it was at the core of the full forensic audit in Arizona. So I'm gonna tie this for you so you can understand it, right? Of course, the Brennan Center for Justice, bad faith election audits are sabotaging democracy across the nation. This is how they fight the bullshit. And how does it even track back to somebody like, Chunky Blinders? Well, they don't want to cover this stuff. They want to keep it as far away as it is, because they know when you see it, you can't unsee it, and you understand what happened. And this is the core of everything that was found at the full forensic audit. And this is the core of what we're going to face in the midterms, because quietly this system has been validating Biden's votes and are convincing you Kamala is bigger than Hillary, bigger than Obama, or whatever, right? It's a freaking racket. But what the system has done is stay away from the forensics, because forensics are allowed in court. So what do they put up? Well, I did a poll once, and here's what somebody said outside to me. So it applies to the whole election. Or I infiltrated an Antifa call. Or I did a math equation based on 2010 in 4 counties, and I can tell you every single vote that was voted in the United States in 175,000 locations, right? They'll throw everything at you to keep you away from bona fide science that is prosecutable. Now, I'm going to tie this to you because I'm going to show you how your own eyes, once you see it, you cannot turn away from it. Okay, so bear with me. Rhodes' wifey says, my face hurts. Tell your husband to go to the other room. I am teaching. Duh. Anyway. And I'm going to connect it to this new science that's going to show you. And this is what I'm going to show you. It's awesome. I'm telling you, it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm going to show you the fingerprint of God. Okay. As I go through this. Now, you know what we did for Maricopa is we look at the ballot as something physical. And even though Antifa infiltrator says, kinematic, what's kinematic? Kinematic is, you found an artifact, what, you found gold in a ballot, are you a treasure hunter? All that bullshit, right? Anyway, it takes that physical thing, which is a ballot, and all we do is look at the status of all of it. Is everything printed correct? Are the alignment marks in the right place? What's the ballot style? What does the 2D barcode say? What's the coloring? And as you can see here, you can see the red on the ballot, right? You see up there it says early voting, whatever. So that's the basis of a ballot. Now, what we did is a science, a forensic science called microscopy. I always butcher that, microscopy. PPP, microscopy. Very, 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 very detailed microscopic work. I don't know why I butcher that word. Microscopy. Microscopy. I know it's not popee. I just can't get the two together. I don't know what it is. Anyway, this is why we could do things that had never been done. Microscopy, but it said microscopy. You'll hear it in a minute. Anyway, thank you for, I don't know why I can't get it out, right? Anyway, okay. This is why we could, and so you know this is what everything was being done on the floor. My design, technique, everything. This is forensic science in action. They got to be shot a certain way. You saw it in the audit. Say microscopy. There you go, microscopy. Thank you for phonetically doing it out, sweetheart. Anyway, through microscopy, that's what you saw all of the stuff on the floor for. What we were able to do is, because I set a standard, and the standard is you can take that piece of paper and we could blow it up to the size of a billboard traveling down the highway and not lose any clarity, like blowing up a photo that looks bad. Anyway, this is why we could do really revolutionary things like, okay, here's how the ballot was printed, and here's the ink from the printing, and here's the ink from the Sharpie, okay? And all of this occurs on that very small nano scale. We're able to really go down to the nano scale, right? And understand how this works. And this is why, I give you an example. You can see it here yourself. You can actually see where the ink of the pen ruffled up the paper. You see it? Okay. Now, and so what I'm telling you is what I'm about to show you, because what I'm going to show you is the fingerprint of God. You completely understand this technology. And this is the same technology we used to deploy, right, at the Arizona audit, where you saw that high-tech stuff. And so we looked at it in this scale. When I'm about to show you in a minute, it's the same scale. I told you we can look down at a fraction of a single blood cell and understand what happened. Now, this is how we do it. It's the same thing, right? Period. So I'm going to show you a few, and then I'm going to see if you catch the subtle differences. Okay, you ready? I'm going to show you how microscopy, liberty, lasagna. Anyway, I'm going to show you. Now Rhodes' wifey is complaining that her lips hurt. And her lips are so swollen. Well, what did you expect? If he microscopy. Okay. So I'm going to show you this, right? So behold, I'm going to show you some simple things. And it's kind of how we look at things. We looked at things in the audit, right? Literally at this level. So let me show you one. Now you'll understand that an official ballot has color on it. If it's a mail-in ballot, it has color. Got it? The reprinted ballots, day of ballots don't have color. Okay. Liberty Mom says her throat hurts. Send pictures. Anyway, here you go. Now, here's kind of how we look at it. You see it here? Here's kind of how we look at it. And so even though you're seeing a condensed version, and this is going to go in because I'm going to show you this. It's amazing, but I want you to understand you've seen this before. And so at the top left, we see how the person voted. In the top right, we see the paper. And the bottom left, we see its color. And the right, we see its alignment, right? Let me show you another one. Ooh, where'd it go? Here. Let me show you another one, okay? And so you see it again, right? You can see how the person voted top left, blah, shit, blah, 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 blah. And the top right, we're looking for these little microscopic mix, machine inserted color. And we're looking for those little bitty tiny specks of DNA to say it came off the machine, right? So, and then here's how we label it, right? The MIC was confirmed. Here's the calibration. And we can tell everything by this. I can tell you all the way down to the person on the table who touched this ballot, what table did it run through, and you see our coding there called a proof file, and you see all that coding. We know every step, where it was, where this ballot came from, the whole bit, poop-de-doo. Okay? So here's another one. There's one there. You see a blue voted oval. There's one there. You see a black voted oval. And these are color ballots. Now, I want to see if you caught something. You ready? I'm going to show you two. And I want to show you how microscopy can tell you stuff about the ballot you never knew. And it is microscopy that is about to show you the fingerprint of God. I'm going to show you some cool science. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour. On the top left, you see a blue voted oval, and you can see we're looking at it. And we're going to look at the texture of the paper. On the top right, you can see we're seeing the actual paper edges. We can see the little bitty beyond eye frequency dots. We confirmed there. The bottom left, you can see that there is red printing. So we confirmed the density of the red printing. And on the bottom right, we can see that lineup. Everybody, you can see that? Look at that closely. I'm going to show you a second one. Okay. I'm going to show you one more. Now look at this one. This one was voted with a black pen, but you kind of see how this works, right? Now I want to show you something that you might not have caught the first time I showed it to you, which has everything to do with what can you really see by microscopy. And because I'm talking about forensics and all this other stuff, thumbs down. Anyway, hey, check this out. Ready? Here's another one. Now, the labels aren't there, but you can see voted on the top left. You can see the paper. You can see the calibration mark there, and you can see it's red because it's an official ballot. Now you see another one. Now, what do you notice about these two ballots? Put it in chat. I'm just going to bebop back and forth through them. What do you notice in these ballots? This is an official ballot. Now, what you notice in these ballots is whoever voted them with an X. But do you notice something else that the microscopy revealed that you might not have noticed? Well, look at the top left on this one. See the top left? Do you see the fold in the paper? Put it in chat. Do you see the fold in the paper? Top left. Do you see the fold in the paper? Can you see it? Top left. Top left. Can you see the fold in the paper? Right across that black line, exactly where it should be. Do you see it? That's the kinematic artifact detection of, at the microscopic level, that the fold has been bent by the machine. Now, you already know that if it's color, it is an official mail-in ballot. And if it's official mail-in ballot, it had to go through the mail, right? It had to go through the mail. Now, let me go back to these. Tell me what you don't notice in the top left. What do you not notice in the top left? You notice there is no fold. Now, let me ask you a question. If in fact, now, and I'm setting you up so because you already understand this science I'm about to show you. If you absolutely know that an official mail-in ballot in color not only had to be folded, but it has that color on it to be an official ballot. Well, is there a fold? Yes or no? No. Is there a fold? Yes or no? By the way, we have hundreds and hundreds of these. Every one of them voted with an X. Every single one of them. We call this a rapid vote, where somebody just marking them real quick. Common denominators, they didn't vote for anything else. and every one of them are what looks like an official ballot. It was never mailed. It's not a walk-in ballot. Those are black and white. It was never mailed, and they were all rapid voted with an X. This is what you learn with forensics, because you actually have 1.8 million of these that show you can't get away from that fold if it's official. You cannot get away from it. But then you have tons of these. Do you understand why I developed a forensic methodology for looking at the ballots? Because it is only with true forensics that you can see what it is, and the paper, the thing, tells on itself. And there are hundreds of these in all different styles. Although we didn't do a kinematic audit, we didn't do anything. But I did learn how to shove a sharp stick up my hoo-hoo. I like it. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to show you. Ready? I'm going to show you the fingerprint of God. And this is absolutely amazing. So basically what I'm going to take you through is I'm going to show you a thing where science has now caught the most detailed model of a cell to date. And it uses X-ray, nuclear magnetic resonance, and a psio-electron microscopy data sets. I don't know why I butchered that. And it's called a cellular landscape. And it's the first time in history we've been able to do this. Now, you of all people who have been here for years with us know this. This is exactly, and this is irrefutable freaking science. It is, the whole world's going nuts about this because you can see it for the first time. And you've always known about it because it's exactly what we did in the full forensic audit. So what this does is it basically takes a cell, right? And it crystallizes the cell. It creates a diffraction pattern. I'm going to show you that in a moment. Then it creates what's called an electron density map. When you see those little blue dots, that's a density map. See them on the top right? That's a density map. We're able to map these things. We're eventually able to understand where they came from or whatever. But what this technology does is uses that electron density map, and then they're able to model it. Basically means it can understand it. So before I show you this, I'm going to show you two short videos. Okay? Hang on. Oh, crap. I hate it when it does this. I don't know what's up with the system. Okay. You're going to see a crystallized cell for a moment. Here's what we're talking about, fingerprint of God, but I'm going to blink in and out. I'm sorry, but hang on. Okay, I'm back. Here's what we're going to do. I am going to show you science's newest incredible freaking breakthrough at the subatomic level. And everybody's going, in a good way, ape shit, batshit crazy over this, okay? And again, why I tied this together, it's the same thing that I did for the Arizona audit and why they don't talk about it. So first, let me give you a little education. And first off, I'm going to start with X-ray crystallization. It's 3 minutes. Go along with it, but I need you to understand before I reveal this to you. I'm going to show you two short videos, and then I'm going to show you the fingerprint of God. Here we go.
First, you'll need to recrystallize your sample. You don't have to, but you probably should. And then select the crystal you want to use. You'll usually do this under a polarizing microscope, where pure crystals will extinguish the light every 90 degrees. Once you've selected your crystal, you'll need to mount it on the pin, a thin glass thread which is frustratingly fragile. The first two I used, I broke. So to do this, you'll want to have mounted your crystals on a slide in Paratone, a viscous glycerol-like liquid which makes isolating a crystal easier. Having selected your crystal, you should transfer it into wax, seen here on the end of the microscope slide. The wax makes sticking the crystal right on the tip of the pin far easier. Once done, mount the pin under nitrogen flow, in this case from the blue nozzle, and center the crystal in the X-ray beam. Unfortunately, I couldn't work out how to run split screen in my editing software, so you'll just have to watch the crystal's movements and my adjustments one after another. There, now it's centered. So now that you have your crystal mounted, you need to determine your unit cell, and this is done by collecting preliminary diffraction data, often referred to as the matrix run. This only takes a matter of minutes, and it's worth noting that the matrix calculation is only a minor part of this step, and the matrix is only for converting the crystal's unit cell axes in space relative to the X-ray beam to the unit cell axes we see on our screens. What it actually produces is something like this, however I shall try to describe it in 2 dimensions. The reason that this preliminary run can be so fast is because the position of a spot is relatively easily predicted once you have the first 2 or 3. For example, if your first 3 spots are these black ones, then you'd predict that the remaining spots would be where these green ones are, and you can send the detector around and check. This may give you a unit cell that looks like this. However, it's worth noting that in this preliminary unit cell determination, any axis h, k or l of your cell could be an integer value of the actual parameter, and you've just found a set of unit cells. For example, if this orange spot were a missed spot and this red spot a systematic absence, then all of a sudden red spots appear at these positions and orange spots at these. Of course, the red spots are absences, so you actually get spots at these purple points.
What? I know that's a little geeky. Welcome to my world. Even though I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. Hey, you have a message for you in my chat. My message is you're forever gone for putting links in my Rumble chat. Bye-bye. That's my message. Okay. I know that was very geekified. But indulge me, right? This is why we had to publish that big-ass scientific reader so everybody would understand it. But then you try to give it to people, they're so-called election experts, and they go, I hold up the book and go, I couldn't understand the thing. It didn't make sense. And the fucking shrink wrap was still on it. No shit, dumbass. You didn't even crack open the book. So let me show you the other side of it. This is the nuclear magnetic resonating and the cryo-electron microscopy data sets. And hang on, it's worth it.
What if we could see the machinery of life, not just cells, but the molecules inside them? What if we could look at the exact shape of a protein and understand how it causes disease or how to stop it? At UCSF, this is not a thought experiment. It is happening every day inside the cryo-electron microscopy core at Mission Bay. This facility is changing how we understand biology and how we design the next generation of therapies. Cryo-electron microscopy, or cryo-EM, allows scientists to image biological molecules that have been rapidly frozen in their natural state. Instead of using light, cryo-EM uses electrons, which have much shorter wavelengths. That means dramatically higher resolution. In practical terms, cryo-EM lets us see proteins at mere atomic detail, not models, not cartoons, but the real structures, down to individual atoms. This capability has fundamentally changed what's possible in biology. Proteins are the working molecules of life. They control signaling, transport, immunity, and metabolism. When proteins don't work correctly, disease follows. If you can see protein structure, you can answer critical questions. Where does it interact with other molecules? What goes wrong in disease? Where could a drug bind to change its behavior? Cryo-EM turns these questions into solvable problems. It transforms basic science into a roadmap for intervention. At UCSF, cryo-EM has been used to uncover the structures of proteins that drive cancer, autoimmune disease, and neurological disorders. Researchers have used cryo-EM to catch key signaling molecules like PA3K in the act, fundamental basic science research that will unlock next generation of cancer therapies.
So that gives you the idea. And by the way, just to cross tie this for you, okay? My work, which led me to understand how to audit the paper and create kinematic artifact detection, came from this was where my work was. And my work was detecting the disease state at the nano level. In other words, not when a woman palpitates her breast and feels a little pea-size knot, that's too late. It has to be when it's a fraction of a grain. That's when you need to catch it. And so all my work was about that. And give you a good example, when women urinate on the pregnancy test and it sees HCG, it's got to be at the 25 level. And that's usually, more than a month and a half plus when you've done the horizontal mambo that you can actually see it. And my advancement in this field was actually able to see it at 2.5 HCG, which basically can tell you within a day or within hours of the horizontal mambo, wow, you got pregnant. This is where all of healthcare is going. And so that's why I knew we could do this stuff with the ballots. But that's enough of the geekdom there that I gave you. Okay? Bink. Bink. This is it. And yes, you can see spike proteins. But science is going nuts because for the first time, just like for the audit, technologies that existed were combined, and it is in that combination that new things can be revealed. And so here's what's happened. In taking, we've always been able to isolate a cell and always been able to, and I'll show you that photo again, just so you understand, to get it to the crystal stage, okay? To get it to the crystal stage, basically you're kind of crystallizing it, grow crystals, okay? And so it was when you get to that crystal, then you can use X-ray, nuclear magnetic resonance, cryo-electron, and with the microscopy data sets, you're able to create what's called a cellular landscape, which means you can visualize it in all its glory. You got that atomic model. And that's why he said there, for the very first time, it's not a model, we can see the real thing. Behold, oh shit, click the wrong button, hold on. I'm going to show you, this is the most amazing thing. I'm so stoked about it. I'm going to show you the fingerprint of God. This is the very first time in human history we've been able to see it and understand what it is. I'm going to roll it up and down my screen. You can look at it. We'll look at it different ways. But it's the very first time in history we've been able to see it. On my screen, as I give this to you, here it is. Basically, you can, look at all these structures. This is one single atom. One single atom. It's like you're looking down on high rises in cities and highways. This is exactly in that DNA set. You see everything as it works. It's the first time ever, it's been able to be actualized so you can understand. You're looking at the real thing, right? This is the thing that shows, right, the hand of God. And yes, I can probably get you one in a 8x10. This is it. And so I'm going to show you how the technology works to be able to do this. But this is the very first time ever in that one tiny thing you cannot see. that mankind has been able to see all of the complex processes that go on at one time. Now, I want you to understand, do you know why? Can you guess why this is so monumental? And yes, this is a first in our lifetime. And it looks chaotic. There is no chaos in it at all. It's just one generic cell. It's the same eukaryotic, I butchered it, cell that's common in man, plants, animals, whatever. We share that, a basic cell, okay? A DNA level cell. That's all it is. So it's not like a DNA. Well, this is a horned-toed, licholotopus, one-eyed, transphobe frog in Afghanistan. It's not that, okay? It's amazingly beautiful. It's amazingly structured. Now, do you know what is probably the most important thing that this science reveals? Can you guess what it is? I'm going to stretch your mind with this one. And you're right. We'll go back to it. It freaking looks like the universe. But why is this so monumental? This actually proves not only organization, it proves creation, and it's not haphazard. As you're looking at my screen, okay? As you're looking at my screen, I want you to understand something here. If you took any one little thing away from my screen, any one thing, right? Any of those structures, and you see how many structures there are, everything in this atom wouldn't work. Now, why is that important? It's because science and the Darwin story, and look at the fencing down here. Let me see if I can pump that up for you. I think it's funny. Look at the wall it built. See it here across the screen? Look at the wall it built, and it only allows certain things through to that particular part of the wall. See it right there? Now, what you have to understand here is if any one of these things weren't here, this would not be life. But in using Darwin's theory, each one of these had to happen independently. Each one of them had to happen independently. And in that formula, just for one cell, it is mathematically impossible, even if you think the Earth is 13 billion years old. It cannot go through the standard minimal mutation to know, oh, I need to do this and become something else to be able to have all of this work. It cannot be done. And so it's freaking amazing. So I want to show you how they isolate these, because this is a big deal. It's a truly a big deal. I'm going to try to not get too geeked out on it. But for me, it's just even more the understanding of God. Now you're going to see my screen change as I do this. This is, oh, I went to the wrong screen. Did I? No, I got it. This is called DigDesign. It's the molecular landscape, how this is done. Can you see the colors change on your screen? I got to get one screen to catch up with me. You see how I do this? And can you see the screen color change? And so this is showing the isolation sets where it maps it and it's able to know what it's looking at, right? Everything can now be, it is the most amazing thing you can imagine. So it's canceling out sets. These are all the individual sets of the different things you're looking at and where they appeared. This is so beyond monumental. I'm telling you, Darwin's dead. I'm telling you, you're going to see it in our lifetime. I'm telling you, this is the great benefit of technology. right? There it is. You are truly looking at the hand of God. Now, you can say that's not God. It doesn't matter. You think I care about your opinion? I don't. I'm only here sharing mine. Do you know why? Look at the name of the program. That'll kind of give you a clue. But when you understand everything's organized like everything is organized like this. And then you understand some very basic things about DNA. You know, right now sitting here, there's a certain amount of DNA we all share. You share DNA with the mobile phone you have in your hand, believe it or not, or the tree outside, or the plant, or the bug, or whatever the case may be. Now, the trick they did on us is found one tooth in Africa and basically said, well, that was, Lucy, and she's the mother of all mankind. Total shit, right? And of course, man cannot make DNA. You're right. When you understand that we all have DNA in common, and when you understand that they taught our children that, well, the difference between man and monkey is only a very slight change in DNA. What they don't tell you, right, is that difference between man and monkey. If you were to lay them side by side from a DNA standpoint, and remember, everything shares common DNA. Common DNA. Everything. Plant, bug, cow, pig, Muslim, Christian, Jew, you name it. Okay? When you look at only that one difference, remember, I told you it's all about words. That difference of those very few differences in DNA of man and monkey, right? Do you know those particular things? They have never, ever found contained in anything on earth ever, except man. Everything on earth is a combination of a soup of DNA. Doesn't matter what it is. Cricket, worm. You can find the elements that made that soup all over earth. But in that difference between man and monkey, where they say we come from, that particular very unique thing they don't tell you about, well, it's only about a half of whatever from man and monkey, appears nowhere in any form on earth. Didn't evolve, didn't hatch from something else, didn't appear in tortoise shit or prickly pear cactus or anything. You're right. We are special and created. Period. I have always told you, it's about the words. And we, as mere humans, make simple jumps. Well, there's only about 1/3% of a difference between man and monkey. Okay, but I want to talk about that 1/3%. What is it? Oh, we can't explain it. So it's not anywhere, and we can't explain it. It's kind of like out of this world. It didn't exist here. No shit! Here we are. And here we are. How freaking cool. And yes, I've always told people, we're the aliens. We are, if you've ever watched any movie like Mad Max, we are the remnant. We are the survivors. We've been through this before. To see this now finally be documented is so freaking amazing. And when you understand that one simple concept, we are made in God's image, behold God's image as the creator of everything. And there it is, right before your eyes. It is undeniable, intentional, not random, functioning at every level design. And what happens? What happens when they screw with God? They can't cut them out. Yeah, it's called trans people. When they cut that wiener off and say you're a girl, no, you're not. Cut your boobies off, say you're a boy, no, you're not. You cannot hide God. And then when you go against God and natural order, like screwing your cousins on top of your cousins on top of your cousins, as they're doing in Islam nations, what do you get? A totally defunct, deficient, ignorant, non-reproducible being that just breathes and slobbers and follows directions. So yeah, for me, we got to look now at the fingerprint of God. This is going to accelerate so fast. It's stunning. It is stunning. And at the same time, our society hurls away from what is right, what is just, what is godly, what is ethical, what is moral. At the same time, we are making breakthroughs on breakthroughs on breakthroughs on breakthroughs, proving God is real, God is here. I told you that split second. I was the first thing that said it when it came out on my report doing that they tried to assassinate the president. That turn, that was the hand of God showing us he's here. You can't orchestrate that. Some people, it's perfectly timed. It was a trick shot. Bullshit. It's the hand of God. So yeah, even as shitty as all this is, folks, and crappy all these news stories and all this deception, it's amazing what we're learning and what we can do. And it's amazing when we truly understand the right ways to use sciences and it's not biased and it's not bullshit, that we can actually see the flaws, right? From here's what's real and it was folded to actual bullshit. And then you look for other things and they were all quick, rapid X's and they were all printed from the same exact machine. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Pretty amazing, isn't it? So I'm going to go back to this screen. Let's just spend a few minutes looking at this. I'm going to show you, I'm going to call out the sequences. Not that I'll talk about it, but it's just so you can see it in the differences. And this is now what's called the cellular landscape. And so you can see it on your screen. I'm going to see if I can go up bigger. So hang on. 1, 2, you know me. I'm a guy. I always want to be bigger. Let's see. Oop, that didn't really reveal that well. But there it is. All of it can now be isolated, mapped, modeled, 100% accurate. You're not looking at a model's rendition of it. You are looking at reality, right, at the molecular level being revealed in 3D. I mean, look, it's like circuit boards and walls and highways and dividers. I mean, it's magical. It is more than magical. And guys, every one of you have this. I told you long ago in this freaking mess that we're in, the odds of that sperm piercing that egg and you being here really weren't statistically that great. Right? But you're here. And for me, that means you have been chosen to be here in that moment in time. Yeah, molecular mansions. You're right. I'm just stunned. I don't know what to tell you other than I am so in awe of God. And by the way, since I've talked about you were chosen to be here long ago, was preordained because that one spermatozoa actually that put you here actually occurred way back many generations for you to get here. An interesting thing was learned recently in science. Get ready for this. Even though that one particular sperm, and yes, it's a bright connection of light, which is the zinc dissipation, the zinc igniting. It's not only that it was the fastest, stronger swimmer. They now know the egg, the female part, has a choice. And even if it's the faster swimmer, the egg must agree to let you in. The egg, they now proven, chooses the singular sperm. Talk about a partnership. Holy freaking moly. I'm so glad I got to share the fingerprint of God with you. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate every one of you. Please share this program.
Our courts are based on clear and convincing evidence. Want convictions? Want justice? For what happened in the 2020 election? Then we need your help. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The decision you make in the next few moments could decide whether we ever get our elections fixed or not. Here's why. Trump campaign and allies filed 64 different lawsuits. They all went down in flames. 100% of these cases were presented on "It's the machines," or "The machines changed the votes," or "The voting company executive said he would make sure Donald J. Trump would not win." They all went down in flames. Why? You can't bring theories to court as evidence. No supposed Zoom call or six-degree polynomial math theory or census data is or ever will be proof of fraud. You can't bring theories to court as evidence. Here's why. In both civil and criminal law, the side making a claim carries the burden of proof, and prosecutors must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Without physical or otherwise verifiable evidence, a case cannot meet this high threshold. Physical evidence is the key. The question is, did anyone get relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The full forensic audit of Maricopa County, Arizona is the only evidence-gathering work which gathered relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election. Evidence so damning that the system, the deep state, and those who pull the strings of this country have fought to keep it hidden and have hoped to have it be forgotten to time. Almost $3 million invested in time, funds, and efforts to unlock that which the system wanted hidden. But now, that evidence is in danger of being lost forever. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. With the 2026 midterms coming up, the system is going to try to lame duck President Trump and then most likely introduce new impeachment proceedings. This is the evidence which will help win the war which is surely to come. We need to keep Maricopa County full forensic investigation and archives secure and ongoing. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We need your help securing the full forensic audit archives. Don't allow the only testable, objective, and reliable 2020 election evidence fall into obscurity. Millions were spent on getting it documented and tested. This is historic evidence. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. Please donate now.